Most of you probably already know that Phil Robertson, the guy from Duck Dynasty, got himself in a little hot water recently with some comments he made about gays and blacks. And a lot of people have been sending me emails and PMs asking me, well, what is your take on this? What do you think about this? It seems like a lot of people are really wondering what I think about this. Like I have some sort of special connection to his comments. And when I started thinking about why are people so concerned with what I think, it came to me. I think a lot of people are laboring under a delusion. A lot of people out there are thinking that I personally am black. Now I can see where my soulful rhythm and my impeccable sense of style would make you think that, but I am not a black man, nor a black woman. I am a white guy. Then it occurred to me that maybe people wonder what I think because I'm a gun channel. And as a gun channel, we concern ourselves a lot with the Second Amendment. And most of us aren't just concerned with the Second Amendment, but all of the amendments. You know, we care about the Constitution in whole, the Constitution in general. And the First Amendment is one of those amendments. It's one of the most important amendments to the Constitution. It's one of the greatest rights we enjoy. And a lot of people feel that this is a violation of the First Amendment of Phil Robertson. Now, first I want to address his comments and what he said. And he said that, you know, he felt that gay was wrong, that gay sex was immoral and sinful. He even related it to bestiality and some other things loosely. I don't really see where he really related. He kind of like spread out from gay and went to bestiality and other things, which shows his mindset. But, you know, I'm not surprised by that opinion. You know, that doesn't surprise me. I mean, look how old he is. Look where he was raised. I mean, that doesn't really shock me. It's nothing that I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe he said that. Because it's kind of like with my grandfather. When my grandfather said something racist or homophobic, I was like, okay, Grandpa. And I took into account where he came from, his generation, and I didn't get overly offended by it. So I'm kind of the same way with him on this. I'm not overly offended by it. Just like with his comments with blacks. Now, I do find his comments about race insulting and insensitive. Because he kind of implied that blacks were happier under Jim Crow laws. Well, that he never saw them suffer, that he never saw them complain. Well, that's almost deceitful. It's either deceitful or just downright delusional. Because to imply that blacks were somehow happier back at a time where they were drugged behind cars, lynched, beaten, killed, burnt, simply for doing things like having the audacity to look at a white woman or try to vote, to try to imply that those were happier times for them, well, that was really, really racially insensitive, and it's really, really ignorant. But like I said, taking account who it is and where he's from, I wasn't surprised. So I wasn't like, oh, big uproar, shock. You know, it just didn't happen. I didn't see it that way. Now, as far as it being a First Amendment issue, his First Amendment rights being violated by being yanked off the air or people wanting him taken off the air, I don't see it. The FBI didn't show up at his door and arrest him. The FCC didn't call A&E and say take him off the air. The IRS didn't seize his assets. You know, the government didn't step in and foreclose on his property. The government did not take any action against this man at all. And that's what the First Amendment is. It's basically just a law that says the government can't do anything to step on our free speech. It can't do anything to prevent us from saying what we want to say or punish us for saying it. The government, not other people. The First Amendment does not give you impunity from the ramifications of what you say. If you say something ignorant or hateful or stupid, you are held accountable for that. And that's what's happening here. He's being held accountable for something he chose to say or do in a public forum where he was being paid to do it. He's not being punished for his nationality, his sex, his religion, or anything like that. His color, his creed, you know, nothing. He's not being punished for anything like that, anything that's beyond his control or nobody else's business. He's being held accountable for something he chose to say or do in a public forum. Now, I know a lot of people like Bobby Jindal are using this for FaceTime for themselves and to get some attention because they're upset that they're no longer the poster boy of the Republican Party like they promised they were going to be. But it's sad that a governor doesn't understand that this is not a First Amendment issue. It's just not. It has no relevance to the First Amendment whatsoever. So the First Amendment, all it does is say the government can't stifle your free speech. It definitely doesn't give you impunity. It doesn't say you don't have to face the consequences of your actions if you say or do something you think is right and other people don't agree with you. And this is what's happening. He said something that maybe he thinks is right, but other people don't agree. And even though I'm not going to join in for this call for his head, I'm not going to say other people don't have the right to do it. Because in my opinion, that's how it works. People have a right to say, this guy offended me, I don't want to watch his show, I don't want to buy products that are associated with his show, and A&E as a private entity has the right to say, we don't want him on our airwaves. So like I said, even though I'm not calling for his head, I totally agree with the practice of everybody else who's doing it, doing it. You ain't even my real dad.